Wow. Did you guys enjoy that? That was powerful. Isn't she powerful? I love Cherie. Thank you, Cherie, for coming. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk right after her just because this subject actually is pretty near to my heart. One of my children, my oldest, at age 5, showed very severe signs of depression. And we dealt with it, and we struggled with it. And for us, I know that it's very, very, it's hard to just tell people they should or shouldn't get on a medication because there are some people that need to be, right? But for us, we made a decision that we wouldn't put her on any medications, and we were going to try and just cope and try other things, right? We weren't involved with essential oils at the time. And sometimes she would have 3 or 4 breakdowns every day. And those breakdowns looked something like this, where she would scream and cry and kick. I'm talking when she was 11, 12, 13. And I would try and save her from going to that really bad place. And at first I would try and be kind, and that didn't work. And then I'd try and shake her out of it, and that didn't work. And then I'd try and be angry and make her afraid to not go there. And then I'd try to coerce her. And finally I just learned that I had to just let her go. And it lasted about a half an hour until she was so exhausted, she'd lay in her bed, and she'd just be sobbing and exhausted. And finally I could talk some sense. We could talk. Sometimes this happened in public. Sometimes it would happen at church. Sometimes it would happen at home, and this is what we dealt with for many, many years. And I remember almost every single morning she would have a screaming match with someone, with my son, my daughter, myself, and it was really difficult. She really set the tone for the whole family, actually. And I remember one night we started to get into essential oils, and we started loving doTERRA, and we had heard so much about wild orange. And so we really wanted to use it with Sierra. Well, a child like that, do you think she had any interest in the oil? Absolutely no interest in the oil. In fact, she kind of loved the term doTERRorist with me, right? She's like, you guys are just crazy. And we really didn't have a relationship. I remember I got her a phone so we could start texting one another and contacting, and she wouldn't text me back. She wouldn't call me back. There was really no connection there. And I remember one night my husband sat up, and we were in bed, and he said, you know what? He said, this is what we should do. You need to wake up 15 minutes before she wakes up. Go down to her room, turn on her diffuser, put wild orange in it the night before, and she has to breathe it in. She's asleep. She has no choice. This will work. And I thought to myself, that is a really, really good idea. So we tried that. And we knew the exact mornings that we did and that we didn't. But she would never admit that it was working. In fact, she was a little angry when she would smell it. But we knew those mornings were always better. In fact, some mornings that I would forget, he would look at me. She would start to scream, and it was almost that look of, what have you done to our family? I'm like, I slept in. I'm so sorry, But I remember one day, we never pushed it on her. She would never tell us, hey, this is working. In fact, she would say the opposite. But one day I was watching her. She was in our kitchen. We have this drawer in our kitchen, and it's right by the door that she runs out to go to junior high. And she didn't know I was watching her. I was just around the corner, and she opened the door, pulled the wild orange out, stuck it in her hand, and went like this for about 20 or 30 seconds, and then ran off to school. And I was like, I didn't bring it up. I just let it sit. And then a little while later, she came up to me, and she asked me for one of these. She said, Mom, do you think I could take one of those little keychains and put some wild orange in it, and I could take it to school? And I said, sure, Sierra, you could do that. So she started little by little. She started using the oils, and then she started using frankincense, and we finally got her on Lifelong Vitality. And now someone that deals with depression, especially if they've come with that, she'll always deal with it. We still have bad days. But instead of 3 or 4 episodes a day, now it's probably about 1 a week, which to me is heaven. In fact, I've already decided what I'm telling her husband, her future husband, that she hasn't met yet. I've already gone through it in my mind. I'm like, okay, she's a really cool chick. You're so fortunate to have her, but about once a week. This is the deal, okay? She's gonna freak out. She's gonna say things that she doesn't mean. You won't be able to talk to her. It's gonna be kind of scary, and all you do is put wild orange and start playing with her hair. Don't talk. Why with her hair? Because it's close enough, she starts breathing, in about 5 minutes, she'll calm down and you can have a rational conversation. But once a week is totally worth being married to this girl, right? So I've already gone through that in my mind. That's what we're going to do. But this is what happened after about a year and a half of her using the oils, and I could tell she was getting better. She started actually texting me, and she'd say things like, "I love you, Mom," which I never heard from her. Or, "Hey, you're the best." And then one day, it was kind of like that climax of where I thought to myself, I think I have my little girl back. I walked into my husband's office, and I had to copy something off. And I saw in the copy machine something was left there. And she didn't tell me, but she had written a poem about me for her English class. It was really short, and I memorized it. And I say it to myself a lot, but it just went like this. Mom, my mom's the dreamer of the best kind. She's like a bird. She takes me up onto her wings, and she shows me what's possible. I love my mom. That was it. I remember reading that, thinking to myself, I think I have my little girl back. And you know what? I really like her. There are sometimes I wondered for so many years, I love the girl, but do I like her? Have you ever felt that way about your kids? But I really like being around her when her hormones are balanced. She's an awesome girl. And I remember I grew up in a family where my dad didn't believe that depression was real. And so I was taught that. Just buck up, just have a little bit more faith. Until we got this little girl and I realized that it is truly hormonal, that it is something physical. And the oils have played a really big part in her life. In fact, if you walk into our home, almost every diffuser in our home, and we have diffuser almost in every room, has wild orange in it. She can't miss it, right? Boom in the kitchen, boom in the, just everywhere she goes, right? So I really, really love the fact that this is actually my favorite oil, and it's because of what it's done for my little girl. And it happens to be the cheapest oil, which is great for me, right? So I wanted to just really quickly tell you about something that Cherie came and presented a little while ago. And I know for all of you folks at home, we're going over just a little bit. So we'll start a little bit later, so bear with us. But Cherie came and presented her story about her sister and everything that she went through in her family. I was so touched that I told Cherie, and we've been working on this for a couple of months, I said, do you know, we should have a symposium just on mental health. Would you guys enjoy that? And actually, I'm going to announce when it is because we're having one. We've been working on it for a while, okay? It's actually March 1st in this exact room. March 1st, it's a Saturday. So for all of you that are at home viewing this all over the nation, you also can live stream in. But Cherie has gotten the top experts in every subject. So let me tell you kind of what we're talking about. It's called Healthy Mind Symposium. And we'll be going over bipolar. We'll be going over stress. We'll be going over depression. We'll be going over post-traumatic stress disorder. We'll be going over postpartum depression, ADD, ADHD, all the things that we deal with mentally, right? From psychologists and doctors and people that she's been working with and that are changing the face of mental health. And I hope that you'll all be there. I think this will be a really powerful event. It's the first event we've ever had like this. And I think I'm going to bring my daughter. It'll be awesome for her and for me and for all of us. So should I tell you the time? It's the same time, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? And even if you don't hear information, just show up that day. Just show up, okay? But we will have some information going out about it. It's March 1st. Am I getting that right? March 1st, Saturday, right? All day. It's called Healthy Mind Symposium. And Cherie is actually going to be hosting it and putting the whole thing together. So it'll be amazing. It'll be an amazing event. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., same as today. Yep, same as today. Okay, so I want you to really quickly grab this little brochure.